Hello, 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 and welcome to Wake Up and Worship. Giving you guys the 3-minute grace period to join. Actually, it's a little more than 3 minutes because I logged on a little earlier today. Just came in from the gym, put some powder on my face. I ain't had time to put no lashes on. But I'm here. I am consistent. I am going to be here consistently on Mondays. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate your faithfulness and your diligence and tuning in every Monday at 12:30 for Monday Marketplace Mantle. And if you are carrying the mantle of the marketplace, I invite you to tag a business bestie, invite them in. The theme for July has been authority and influence in the marketplace. So we come with a theme and then we kind of break it down to little nuggets throughout the month. So every Monday we'll have something that we focus on. So the theme for July is authority in the marketplace. Do you have authority in the marketplace? Hey, thank you for tuning in. Do you have authority in the marketplace? Do you want authority in the marketplace? So whether you have authority in the marketplace or you want authority in the marketplace, even in ministry, marketplace, nonprofit, this can be beneficial to you because the strategies that I give you, you can apply them to any area of your influence. And that's what we're talking about today. So I'm really excited about today's topic. Today's topic is expanding your influence. So wherever you have influence, you can expand it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Of course, I'm going to give y'all 3 points, some practical applications. Then I'm out of here to the rest of my day. I feel like I need a nap today. I walked on the treadmill. I don't know how hot it is outside, and I did upper body workout today, but I feel a little exhausted. I may feel exhausted because we had a 5-year-old in our house Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and he came and hang out a little bit on Sunday. So Saturday, Greg took him to Urban Air, the indoor park, which is something new for us because we don't normally have 5-year-olds around us. But it was a good time. We enjoyed ourselves. He enjoyed himself. So Caleb, my husband's godson, spent the weekend with us. His mom had a speaking engagement here in Tampa. So we were playing grandparents for the last 4 days. And Greg okay, I'm peopled out. I don't need to talk to nobody today at all. I'm like, I understand, baby. I understand. So yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm about to get started. My 3-minute grace period will be up just in 1 minute. So I will get started promptly at 12:33 because the time goes so fast. And I just want to make sure I get an opportunity to share everything that I want to share with you guys. If you are tuning in, put replay. If you are watching live, say hi. I just want to see who's on today. According to my thing, is 2 people on. So say hi so I can acknowledge you. It went down to 1 person. So I don't know if they logging off, logging back on. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm going to just go ahead and get started. So hello, everybody. I am Teresa McCurry, the CIO, Chief Inspirational Officer of Super T Inspires, and I'm also the co-founder of McCurry Ministries International. And what McCurry Ministries International is, it's my husband and I, and we help people that are in ministry, in the marketplace, and in marriage. But this part is more for ministry, marketplace, nonprofits. This is if you're carrying a marketplace mantle in any capacity. I invite you to come on and join me every Monday for about 20 to 30 minutes as I give you some tips and strategies on how to be more effective in the marketplace. So today our topic is expanding your influence. Expanding your influence. And it's ironic. I said, well, let me look on the computer and see what the definition is of influence. And it basically says the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone, something, or the effect itself. So influence is the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone or something, the effect itself. So we all have an influence, whether we want to admit it or not. Hey, Carmen, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your faithfulness. We all have an influence. So whether we're influencing our family, whether we're influencing our friends, whether we're influencing the people in our neighborhood, each and every one of us has an influence, whether we say yes to the leadership position that we're in, or we just sit back and lead by default, or we shrink back and don't say anything. All of those actions are influential. So there is an influence in it, right? So people are always watching you. People are always watching what you're doing, how you're moving, how you're navigating. So I didn't print out the actual scripture, but there's a scripture says that we want to operate in the posture of clean hands and a pure heart. So when we're operating from the posture of clean hands and a pure heart, that's when we know that our influence will be godly, our influence will be beneficial. So we always want to move from a place of clean hands and a pure heart. Hey, my daughter Lisa, thank you for tuning in today. So I'm going to jump right into point number 1. So point number 1 is influence growth through consistency and results. Influence growth through consistency and results. So what do I mean by that? I mean that you have to build your influence being consistency, and you build your influence from the results that you have. So if I do something one time, that's not building consistency, right? People trust leaders who consistently show up, who consistently serve, who consistently solves problems and produce results. So if I'm not showing up on a regular basis, if I'm not producing results and I'm not solving problems, most of the time I won't get a good influence, or I won't have people following me. One successful event, one successful program, one project does not build a sustainable influence. So one thing that I find a lot of people make the mistake of, they plan to have an event, or they plan to do a program or work on a project, and that's the end goal. They never think about what's next, what's after the event, what's after the project. So you have to have a big picture. You have to ask yourself, am I doing this for a moment, or am I creating a movement? So if I'm creating a moment, once the moment is over, boom, it's over, it's dead, we're done. Go home, deuces. But if I'm creating something that I want to have a legacy, or I want to have a lasting effect, I want to create a movement. So in a movement, it takes time. So with the movement, once I have this event, then what's next? So I can't do something one time and only one person showed up and I'm discouraged and I'm not going to do it again. If it's really a true calling of God, I will do it each and every month, and one person shows up. If nobody shows up, I'll still do it. One time, a transparent moment. One time we had a event in Cleveland. It was for my real estate, and I have partners that I work with, Dominion partners, and we had 49 people to register on Eventbrite for the event. Ask me how many people showed up. 2 people showed up. 2 people was actually sitting there in the audience ready to get the information. So the team was like, okay, we could just, go ahead. Let's not do it. I said, no, we're still going to do it. So we're going to cut our presentation down from 30 minutes each to 10 minutes each to give these 2 people who took the time out of their schedule to show up. We want to give them that information. So with that being said, it doesn't matter how many people are in the room, because you don't want to go by numbers. You want to go by impact. So those 2 ladies, one of them wind up getting her finances that she needed, and she's in the process of purchasing a home now. Another lady was in the process of listing her home. So those 2 people, we were able to make an impact on their lives. So with that, consistency makes our leadership recognizable and dependable. I want to be a recognized leader, and I want to be a dependable leader, so that's what helps to expand my influence. So when I was thinking about this today, and I said, you know what, I've been in the business, I've been an entrepreneur for over 40 plus years. 40 plus years. And if you haven't heard the story, I'm going to say it real quickly. I started babysitting when I was like 8 years old. So that was my first entrepreneur journey. I would babysit people's kids. I want to say that was back in the 70s. And my mother would make sure that they would pay me. So if I babysit your child, you were going to pay me $10 and you would go out and do whatever. And then after that, I started doing the children's hair that I was babysitting. So 8 years old, I was always a very mature kid, always a very focused, driven kid. So I'm babysitting these children and I started doing their hair. So when I started doing their hair at 10 years old, y'all hear me, listen to me. At 10 years old, I retired from babysitting and I started doing hair full time. 10 years old. So I found out that people were bringing their children over to get their hair done and I was babysitting somebody else's child. And during that process, I couldn't do both. I couldn't focus on this child that I was babysitting and do this other person's hair. So then I just stopped babysitting altogether, retired at 8. I started at 8, retired at 10 and start doing hair full time. So I want to say that I've been in the business for over 40 plus years. I was in ministry. My husband and I, we pastored for 15 years. So it wasn't like we were doing bad and things were going wrong. We decided, or God allowed us to move to the next level. I have a nonprofit organization, the MCS Fund, and we've been in existence for the 9 years. So with that being said, that gives me some consistency. That helps me to build up the credibility to be able to come on and do and give you this information. I'm not telling you something I think. I'm telling you something I know. I've been through that process. So I know and I understand. So choose one leadership activity that will constantly execute, that you will constantly execute over the next 90 days. So that's the action step that I want you to do. What is that leadership activity that you will consistently execute over the next 90 days? Because if you won't do it consistently, it's just going to be a hit or miss, and you won't have the results that you're looking for, and you won't have the success that you desire. So you have to build up that consistency. Point number 2. Build credibility through execution. So as I realize what it is that I want to do, I want to build credibility by executing it on a regular basis. Credibility grows when your actions support your message. So if I'm saying one thing and I'm doing something else, it doesn't line up. So if it doesn't line up, I'm sending a mixed message to the audience. I'm sending a mixed message to the people. One thing that you can say about Teresa McCurry, she's a finisher. So if I start something, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to finish what I start. So a lot of people start something and get lost along the way and won't finish it. But if I want to expand my influence, I have to finish what I start. Do not continuously announce what you're going to do, an assignment that you're going to complete, and not produce the evidence, because then you don't have credibility. I'm going to start this, and then it doesn't go the way you want to, and then you just stop. So you want to be able to create the consistency for it is that you're looking for. Then get testimonials. Once you've done that thing, then get testimonials about it, because testimonials help to build your helps to build your credibility. My tongue is getting tired today. So if I continue to do it, that helps to build my credibility. And I want to be credible, because to expand my influence, I have to be credible. I think about when I used to work for L'Oreal, and we used to do this thing before we get up to speak, or before we get up to teach the class. We used to say ETR, and ETR means earn the right. So how am I qualified to get up before you and speak about what it is that I'm going to speak about? I have to earn the right to talk about that. And in earning the right, I would talk about, I went to Dudley Cosmetology Institute. I went to Vidal Sassoon Academy. I've done this, that, and the other. other. And that was me earning the right. That was me giving testimonials to make myself credible to stand before you and teach you what I'm going to teach you today. Execution turns expertise into evidence. Execution turns your expertise into your evidence. So this is the evidence of what I said. Because today's society, you can have one-hit wonders. And people can be anything that they want to be on social media. People can create any image that they want to. They create these facades. And they want you to think that they're this person or they're that person. But in reality, they don't even understand what it is, the inner workings of how this works. They just said, okay, I got up, I gave a speech one time. Somebody said I did a good job. Yes, I'm going to be a public speaker now. Don't have any roots, don't have any know-how of how things work or how things navigate. But with that being said, we want to be able to have results for what it is that we are doing. So point number 2, build credibility through execution. How do I execute what it is that I'm going to do? A prime example, let's think about this. At one time, one of my little nieces was baking cupcakes or something like that. And so she baked the cupcakes, and her goal was she was going to sell these cupcakes. She was going to bake them and sell them. So my thing was like, who are you going to sell them to? Who is your target market? Well, everybody can buy the cupcakes. Everybody could buy the cupcakes, but there's a probability that nobody would buy the cupcakes. So if I don't have a specific target market that I'm going after, y'all hear me, especially in your discovery stages, you have to have a specific target market that you're going after. And in that specific target market, she needs to make these cupcakes that are going to be appealing to that particular target market. Because if that market is not buying the cupcakes, any and everybody could buy the cupcakes, but I still need to have a target market that I'm going for, and what is their pain point and what problem am I solving for them. So in that, if I'm going for kids, then I need to have the cupcakes made that are going to be appealing, visually appealing to children. I'm going to put sprinkles on them. I'm going to put cartoon characters on them. I'm going to have them in the primary colors. Am I making sense? So and then if I'm going for corporate, then the cupcakes need to be a little more fancier. The cupcakes need to be designed in a certain way and packaged in a certain way, because if they're not designed and packaged that way, it won't appeal to corporate. So am I going after the children who their parents are going to buy, but the children are going to visibly see it and want to have it? Am I going after corporate? Corporate wants to have it for their events, for their functions and things like that. It's going to look a certain way. Am I going after the Christian community? Should it have little crosses, little Bible scriptures on top of it? So y'all get where I'm going with this, right? So in that, build credibility through execution. So how do I execute the product that I'm selling? How do I execute the service that I'm providing? How do I execute whatever it is that I'm doing? So either you're going to have a product, or you're going to have a service, or you're going to provide a something for the individual. So in that, you need to know who your target market is and how you're going to go after them. And point number 2, build credibility through execution. So like with the MCS fund, I always make that as an example because that's easy for the nonprofit to understand. We educate, we advocate, and we provide resources. So that's what we do. We go out and we educate the community about sickle cell disease and what that is, and how you can help by donating blood and all of the things that relates to the sickle cell disease, SCD. And then we have the ministry. With the ministry, it's like, what is your fingerprint in ministry? My husband calls it your fingerprint. I call it your flavor. And everybody has a different fingerprint, and everybody has a different flavor. So what we cannot do as the body of Christ is try to be everything to everybody. So if somebody has a specialty, I want to partner with them and refer other people to them for their specialty, because that's where you're going to be better served at. New Beginnings Ministries, our number one mandate, our assignment was to give people a new beginning. whether it was a new beginning for renewing your mind, whether it was a new beginning helping you to get off of drug addiction, whether it was new beginning helping you to get out of toxic relationships, whatever that new beginning was that you needed, that's what God equipped Greg and Teresa to provide. So now God has given us New Beginnings Fellowship International, and with that, we're helping to give the body of Christ the practical tools that they need as it relates to fivefold ministry, as it relates to marketplace, and as it relates to leadership in ministry, no matter what the ministry platform is. Ooh-wee! Hopefully y'all following me. And the practical application for that is, if you want to build credibility through execution, you want to be able to keep the data. So you want to be able to prove what it is that you did. You want to document testimonials, outcome, completed projects, people that you serve, revenue that you receive, partners, people that you work with develop a measurable impact. Well, how have you impacted the community? With that being said, with the MCS fund, I always go back to that because it's on my mind. I'm not always reading stuff about it and having meetings as it relates to the MCS fund. So with that, we just had a meeting not too long ago with the Red Cross. The Red Cross is who we partner with to host blood drives. So the Red Cross let us know how much blood we were taking in, how many people were impacted by that blood that we were taking in, how many people were able to give Power Red, and then how many people one pint of blood, you can help save 3 lives. So if you donate 1 pint of blood, you can help save 3 lives. So that's the measurable impact of what it is that we're doing. So credibility, build credibility through execution. So we're executing what it is that aligns with our mission, our vision, and our assignment. So the practical application that I want to give you guys for point number 2 is get you some testimonies, create outcomes, write down what it is, get the data, because data is king. Data is what people pay for. So if you're looking for funders, people to help you with your nonprofit organization, they want to know the data. How many people have you served? How did it impact them? So the data is very important. So see if you can turn that data into revenue. So I always tell people, I love social media. Don't get me wrong. Thank you so much, Facebook. But a like does not equate to $1. And I need some things that's going to equate to some dollars. So just because you liked it, please like. Just because you shared it, please share. Doesn't mean it's going to equate to dollars. So I need to be doing things within my marketplace that's going to equate to dollars. So you have the marketplace where profits mean everything. And then you have the nonprofit where profits still mean a lot, but the profit is not what you're in it for. You're in it for the impact. But you still need dollars to do what it is that you plan to do, right? We all need dollars. So the only reason we're not paying for this platform because the advertisers are paying for it. So you are the commodity that they're selling on Facebook. You are the commodity. So your ads don't look like my ads. My ads go to my likes, to what I prefer. Your ads go to what you prefer. So when you're on this platform, you are the commodity that is being sold. If y'all don't understand that, inbox me. Let's have a conversation. Oh, you know what? It's a documentary about it. The documentary is called The Social Dilemma. So whenever you get an opportunity, go on Netflix and watch The Social Dilemma. And it shows you how you are the commodity that's being sold on the free platform. So that's why the platform is always free to you, because you're the commodity to being sold. The ads that you see, they are buying the ads so they can find out what your likes are, what your preferences are, and they can advertise directly to you. So especially with the AI and all the algorithms and things that are going on, you are the commodity that's being sold. Let me get off of that and go to my third point, and then we'll be done for the day. So the third point is show up where your audience is. So like we said here on Facebook, do you have an audience here on Facebook? Is your audience on LinkedIn? Is there more professional? Is your audience on Instagram? Is your audience on TikTok? And it's so many different ones to choose from. You can't be everywhere all the time. I would say pick no more than 3. Pick 3 different platforms that you want to be on, and make that your 3 platforms that you're on. And you just can't be, it's just too much. It's too many out here to be trying to be on to try to keep up with it. And me, I go on Facebook, I post, I like, make a comment, and then I'm off of there because I have other things to do. So I can't be on there 24 hours looking at everything. That will be counterproductive for what I need to do. But I do like the social media platform, so I want to go on there and be social. The last point number 3, show up where your audience is. So once you find out who your target market is, you need to show up where they are. You cannot influence people that you cannot reach. All right, remember, what's the topic for today? Expand your influence. You cannot influence people that you cannot reach. Visibility must be a strategic and not random. I must be strategic about where I plan to go and how I plan to expand my influence. And with that being said, if you find yourself not able to communicate your vision or your mission, I would say go to Toastmasters. Go to Toastmasters and learn how to communicate your mission and your vision well. Because if you can't communicate it well, you most likely won't be believable, and people most likely will not do business with you. So take the ums, the ahs, all of that out of your vocabulary, because if I'm talking to you and you're telling me about your business, but every other word is we want to help people that are affected in some way, and you don't sound credible. So you want to sound credible. There is work that you have to do to be able to maneuver through your platform and to maneuver through what it is that you want to do successfully. So do the work. Do the work so you can be successful. Stop trying to be everywhere. Be consistent in the right places. You can't be everywhere all the time. I remember that was me back in the day when I first started I had 3 different salons. So when I first started, I want to say my second salon, which is Our Hair Studio. So Our Hair Studio, I had that salon for about 5 years and they wound up selling the business. After that, I regrouped, and then God blessed me with my own building that was so important to me because of what I had went through with Our Hair Studio. Working on things in the building, talking about expanding the business. And in the midst of us talking about the expansion, the building was for sale. Me and my business partner were working to get the funds together so we can actually purchase the building. And in the process, they sold the building right from up under us, gave us a notice that we had 60 days to vacate the building. I can give y'all some stories. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. So could you imagine? We're in the process of getting the funds together to purchase a building that housed our business. The name of our business was Our Hair Studio. We was right on the corner of Mayfield and Warrensfield. Hey, my son, Sean Quarles, thank you for tuning in. He has a construction business. So if y'all need some construction, some painting, some repairs done in Ohio, Cleveland, please reach out to Sean Quarles and give him some business. He is carrying his marketplace mantle well. Shout out to my son, Sean Quarles. So with that being said, I was telling y'all about what happened. So we had we were in a suite in the building called Our Hair Studio. It was me and my business partner. We did hair and nails in there. We were being successful at our business. So when the building went up for sale, we was like, oh, let's work together and try to purchase this building. It was doable, but we needed more money for our down payment. So in the midst of us working getting the money for the down payment, they wound up selling the building. So when they sold the building, at first the new owners was like, you guys can stay, we'll work something out, blah, 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 blah. And then after that, they said, you know what? We want to do something totally different with the building. We're going to give you guys 90 days, 60 days. I don't know what it was. Me and my business partner was totally devastated, and we had to get out the building. So with that being said, when I purchased Mimi's Hair Heaven and Spa, I wound up purchasing the building, because once that happened, I knew in my mind that I was not going to be in a business where somebody was going to kick me out. All right. That was not part of my notes. Let me get done. We got 2 more minutes and I'm done. So point number 3, show up where your audience is. And showing up where your audience is, you want to be consistent. You want to show up where they are socially. You want to show up where they are in person, and you want to be able to network and get to know your audience so you can have the influence that you need. The practical application for show up where your audience is. Identify 2 top platforms, communities, organizations, events, or relationships that your target market is at. Create a 90-day, a 30-day, a 60-day visibility strategy. You want to create a strategy so you can be visible where your target market is. And how do I create that strategy? I said I'm going to attend Toastmasters, I'm going to attend the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm going to be active in my church. So that creates visibility for you and helps put you in front of your target audience. We got it done in 30 minutes. Hey, you guys, I'm Teresa S. McCurry, also known as Super T. I'm the CIO, Chief Inspirational Officer of Super T Inspires, and I'm also the co-founder of McCurry Ministries International. And this is week number 16, expanding your influence. I will see you guys next week, Monday, 12:30, Marketplace Mantle. Okay, Monday, Marketplace Mantle. Love you guys so much. Be blessed, but most of all, be inspired. Have a great day. Bye-bye.